It's time for the Tactics Garage. RDF, presuming this is your favourite time of the week?
Oh, absolutely. I've waited 7 whole days for this. 7 whole days, Tony.
7 days worth of tactics build up. And you know what? We've got one for you this week as well. Ross Heslop, which is at Ross Heslop91 on Twitter, has sent us a wonderful tactic for you to have a look at. Now, he's saying he'd love to know how to improve this. He's had a lot of success, but he's really struggling to control games with it. So why don't you do what you do, load up the screen, talk us through it, and tell us where Ross can improve.
Yes. So here is the beauty. 4-2-3-1. For those who can't see the screen, it's a 4-2-3-1 formation. It's pretty standard. He's got pretty standard roles. As fullbacks, he's got fullbacks on support, 2 central defenders, so nice and composed defenders, no ball playing things going on there. In central midfield, he's got a deep line playmaker, box-to-box midfield, already a very nice balance. In the attack line, he's got an inverted winger on the left, a winger on the right, both on attack. In the middle, he's got his number 10 on support with the advanced playmaker, or advanced forward up top. So just looking at this tactic, first glimpse, it's pretty balanced. It looks very, very solid, but obviously he's struggling to control games. So it might not necessarily be a roles issue. It might be more on the team instruction side.
Yeah, I was going to say, for just for looking at it, even for myself, I sort of think that seems fairly standard. You know, there's nothing that's jumping out too much. In terms of what you're saying there, that you know, there might be some roles and some instructions that could potentially be needing to be tweaked. I mean, just going down this sidebar here where you've got your in possession, your out of possession,
yes,
you're in transition. Anything that's jumping out there at you that would be instantly drawn straight to your eye to go, you know what, maybe this is part of the reason that Ross isn't controlling games.
So in his tactical instructions, in possession, looking at his passing directness, he's playing shorter, so he's looking to control the game. And then with the tempo, he's got higher. So already, though you're looking to control the game with the shorter tempo, with the shorter passing, the tempo is fairly high, meaning you are going to lose some control at certain points in the game because you're asking your players to make decisions fairly quickly, which is no issue in trying to control games. But at the same time, with his creative freedom, he's asking his players to be more expressive. He's also asking his runners to run with the ball more often. So this may be an area where he's losing control with the ball. So if he's running at defense, maybe he's losing the ball trying to beat his man, or with creative freedom, be more expressive. Players are acting outside of their tactical duties. Again, you might be losing some control in the attacking area. So the first thing I would be looking to tweak is the dribbling, possibly dribble less to gain more control and just remove creative freedom.
Yeah, I think that's sort of even where my eyes are drawing first of all. And obviously he's looking on the screen as well. With all due respect, this, you know, he's using this with Wigan as well.
Yeah.
So he's wanting like a high press, high pace, be expressive, run at the defense. Like it's really sort of like aggressive. So even I'm looking at that thinking, okay, maybe you're asking a little bit too much. I mean, anything in the out of possession and in transition instruction as well that you might be looking to tweak?
Everything looks all well and good for me for a team that's looking to control the game. So he's got higher line of engagement with a higher defense line. That's a high press. So he is squeezing his opponents, trying to gain control of the game. His trigger press is more often. So I actually there's no issues for me. There's no issues. So this one was a little bit challenging to improve. So what I've actually done, which is pretty new this week, it's a tweaked version and it's effectively the exact same thing. But what I have done is drop my 2 central midfielders because he's using 2 central midfielders. I've dropped them into that deep pivot role. So now it's 2 DMs. And instead of fullbacks, we've got wingbacks getting up, supporting the play, which though it seems like you're being a little bit more aggressive, but you're actually getting more support in that attacking area. Again, helping you gain control. When it comes to in possession, we actually haven't changed much. Like I said, I have made that tweak. We are now dribbling less instead of run at the defense. Out of possession, everything is exactly the same. It's just certain roles that I have tweaked. In number 10 as well, we've removed it from attacking midfielder on support to advanced playmaker on support just to get some, hold the possession better in that attacking area. And voila, this is now the 4-2-3-1. This is how I would improve it, in my honest opinion. It's very difficult to improve the original because he's doing well at Wigan already. And it's a very, very balanced tactic, which is, it's a nice challenge this week. A very nice challenge for me this week. But I think I've done well.
Well, there you go. See, this is the thing. So sometimes it's not necessarily the tactic. If the tactic's balanced,
Yeah.
sometimes, I'm going to ask you a question here, RDF, sometimes, is it just that he needs better players?
Yeah, and it's also getting the best at what you've currently got. It's very hard to see his Wigan side currently, but I am managing Southampton in an offline save, and of course we do have Ward-Prowse. So I'm trying to get the 4-2-2, that high press, narrow attacking football, but we have that secret weapon, and for me, it's play for set pieces because we have that James Ward-Prowse. Maybe for him, he has that secret weapon. Maybe it's a target forward, and now you can play the same football, but just get those balls into the box. Maybe it's a really, really creative midfielder or a fullback that can cross fantastically well. You may have a secret weapon. So for me, in his Wigan side, it may be just to find a secret weapon. And if he wants to control the game in possession-wise, especially in that attacking area, I would dribble less with the ball.
Yeah, I think I would also trying to work out as well. Like, are there any particular styles where you just need better quality players? Like, I know he's saying here about wanting to control games, but if you're playing quick counter-attack football, you kind of have to have that trade-off, don't you? Like, can you play possession football in the lower leagues?
Yes, that's a very good question, Tony. And I think we would have to have an episode where we're talking about this as well when it comes to style of plays and the attributes needed for certain style of plays. So for an example, this is more of a controlled game. Like he said, he wants to control the game, possession football. So for your players, they would need to have decent first touch, anticipation and off the ball so they can read the game, put themselves in the right position, and also composure to be able to handle certain situations. You will need to have certain attributes in the lower leagues. For a team like Wigan, you wouldn't necessarily focus so much on the technical attributes because not everybody's going to have great technical attributes. Then you will kind of substitute that for the physical. So you would look for players that have very good balance on the ball. So when they are pressured, they're not being unfazed. And, you got jump and reach as well, which can be, again, your secret weapon in those lower leagues.
Yeah, and that's sort of... To be honest, it's a little bit more for myself than for Ross, I think, to be honest.
It is something,
you know what, though?
It is something that people don't, sorry for cutting you off, but it is something that people don't really business themselves with, which I think is actually really, really important, especially something like a gegenpress. You can't really gegenpress with players with low natural fitness, stamina, aggression, bravery, and work rate, which people will attempt, but it's for another episode. It's for another episode.
So there you go. This tactic... just a tweak, not an overhaul. This is, of course, what we do here. You don't have to have a complete overhaul. We can, of course, just tweak. And hopefully, Ross, let us know if what Aaron suggested has improved your tactic. Now, if you are listening and you think, you know what, I need a bit of a once-over, you want to bring your tactic to the Tactics Garage, tweet us a screenshot of the tactic, including the instructions down the side. And more importantly, tell us what's wrong with it. Tweet either myself at Tony Jameson or probably more importantly, tweet Aaron at RDF Tactics. And who knows, maybe your tactic will be up on a couple of blocks and having the once over in the next few weeks.